by eating turkey.
It's not sensitive. Oh, Lord. Look at the detail. Yes, Lord. Oh. And the Lord said God is good.
You guys are...
I told you Dirty Bird was on the menu.
Daddy Drew.
I got a controversial take for you, see.
Go ahead.
Turkey, delicious.
Yes.
But turkey legs, wildly overrated.
Oh no, man! You gotta get the turkey leg because it has the most moisture. It's the dark meat.
Weird take.
Nah. Turkey legs, like you feel like you're at one of those like medieval times Renaissance fair, like type thing. Walk around big
but you have to carve it up.
Savage.
You have to carve it up because it's a little bony, little cartilage and everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's the worst part of the turkey. Fried turkey wing. Give it to me. A little breast meat with some gravy, no problem. Some giblets in the middle, maybe a little gizzard, no problem. The leg? Come on, man.
I'm really shocked by you.
Why? Why are you shocked? Go ahead. Or should you pull it back?
I mean, that's the only thing white you like.
Oh,
I mean, dude like his coffee straight black. I don't want no cream, don't want no sugar. Just bring it to me hot and black. If anybody watched the show, you're a fan, social media, you know. Hey, man, I like my wife just like my coffee, bro. I want it hot, I want it black.
My wife, my coffee, and my quarterbacks.
And every once in a while, I want it to be a little spicy.
Okay.
Now you're on the turkey, on the white meat, the dry part.
Okay.
No, that's not you. That's not your brand, Nick.
Okay.
Get you a leg off in your life, dog.
Okay.
Quietly, I'm going to bring in a few stories to start your morning. Falcons fell to the Saints. We just saw the turkey. 31-17 yesterday. They had no answer for Drew Brees. Brees threw for 4 touchdowns. Matt Ryan on the other side, and that offense turned the ball over 4 times. Atlanta now eliminated in the NFC South. Nick, how disappointing has this season been for the Falcons?
Man, injuries and coulda, woulda, shoulda games. For week 1 of the season, 1st and goal from the 9, down 6, hold that L. Couple weeks later, overtime against this New Orleans team, hold that L. Next week, Cincinnati, a lead with 30 seconds left, hold that L. Like that, compounded by the injuries, that ruins the season.
And no one after their season has come up short of their expectations going to say, hey, you know, the injuries. But it's a real excuse for certain teams. A lot of teams will face injuries. They will try to overcome. But there will be a handful of good football teams, good organizations, well coached, that they will not be able to overcome them. And that's who the Atlanta Falcons are.
Yep. All right, on to the Bears and Lions. Chicago's defense coming up big once again, intercepting Matt Stafford twice, including a pick 6. Bears win 23-16 to improve to 8-3. CC, is it time to start taking Chicago seriously as Super Bowl contenders, though?
You better take them serious, Jenna. Even the Super Bowl. I like the Bears. I like how they've matched their defense. It's just not only their personnel, but it's what type of speed they have, how many pass rushers they have, and their ability to be able to make plays on the back end. That's what makes defenses very, very special. You can only hit the quarterback so many times. But if you can make some turnovers, give your offense extra possessions, yes, take the Bears serious.
See, you're starting to come to my side of things on Matt Stafford. Like Matt Stafford, gaudy numbers. But
I try to be nice, though.
I try to be nice. When he got that contract, you're like, stop counting another man's money. I said, man, it's a hard cap sport. You can't win games paying Matt Stafford $30 million. Team mediocre to bad again. Come on, Matt Stafford. I know that pick's not his fault, but the pick 6.
You know that was the wide receiver's fault, Nick.
The first
what percentage?
You're going to say today it's 60% it's wide receivers. Next week it might be 50%. It vacillates.
Sticking in the NFC North, guys. Packers, Vikings preparing for their matchup on Sunday. Both teams hovering around 500. Both hoping to keep their playoff hopes alive. All right, C. What is the key to this game, Packers-Vikings?
Which Packers team is going to get off the airplane and eventually get off the bus? We know their defense is the tale of 2 different teams. At home, defense has been spectacular. On the road, absent, missing in action. And that's not what the Packers need in this Sunday night matchup, because you talking about one game that can turn their season. We got Barr coming back for the Vikings. They have Dalvin Cook also got out of last week's game healthy. I believe the Vikings in a must-win, desperate situation. Yes, because they got New England in a couple weeks and Seattle 2 out of the next 3 weeks. So.
And because these 2 teams tied each other, so this game determines the tiebreaker. Right, so like if these two teams finish with the same record, whoever wins this game would be the one that gets the wild card spot if that's where they're at. I want to watch Aaron Jones in this football game. Also, 2 weeks ago, didn't really get the ball enough last week. Let's see if they can stay dedicated to the run to try to open some things up for Aaron Rodgers down the field.
All right, finally, big game Saturday on Fox as number 4 Michigan takes on number 10 Ohio State. The winner here goes on to the Big Ten Championship. The loser, well, they're all but eliminated from playoff contention. CeCe, what are you expecting in this one?
Well, I'm expecting the Buckeyes to try to run the football against a great Michigan defense. Buckeyes haven't been very, very effective. Michigan's defense has been one of the best. They get after the passer, create a lot of turnovers, got great linebackers playing for them, and a tremendous secondary. This is a tremendous challenge for the Buckeyes with only one loss on the schedule. This is the biggest challenge that they would face. And this is a team that the last 5 weeks, they have struggled. They've struggled offensively to try to be physical, and the defense is a defense that we wouldn't recognize. Typically, Ohio State, a top 5, top 10 defense, elite getting after the pass rusher, NFL defenders on the back end. Now, this year, we're not seeing that. They don't have the type of talent because a lot of that talent is playing on Sunday. In this year, you can see a lot of the younger players haven't stepped up to that great opportunity that they have.
Well, and remember last year when I said Carson Wentz the league MVP? You can't lose the MVP and win the Super Bowl. And then I ended up being wrong. We can't call Nicky Bosa the best player in college football. You lose him and then not expect your defense to take at least one step back. Now, Ohio State's defense has maybe taken 2 or 3 steps back. But I want the audience to understand what a rare occurrence we're going to see on Saturday is. Because when the game kicks off, Ohio State, coached by Urban Meyer, is going to be a home underdog. Urban Meyer has not been an underdog at home at Ohio State, nor at Florida. You got to go back to Utah and Bowling Green. Now, he's undefeated in those situations as an underdog at home, but he hasn't done it at either of his last 2 stops. I just don't know, if your Buckeyes can stop Michigan on the ground. Michigan couldn't run the ball in week 1 against Notre Dame. Their 1 loss of the year. Since then, they're averaging 235 a game on the ground. We know how good the Michigan defense is. You mentioned it, but their rushing attack has been the best part of their offense.
Watch the red zone, because Michigan's going to move up and down the field. Their quarterback, who's been inconsistent, how many turnovers does he avoid? Because they're going to get after him. They're going to blitz him. They're going to put the game in his hand to be able to win it. In the red zone, can Michigan come up with enough offense? Because their red zone offense, Michigan, has not been very, very good to be able to get touchdowns compared to field goals. So I look at a back and forth, a low-scoring game. This would be a huge, this would be one of the biggest upsets Urban Meyer's had since he's been at Ohio State, if he's able to pull off the upset to get to beating Michigan 7 times in a row, because they've beaten them 6 times going into this game.
And it would wreck Michigan's season. This has been the season that Harbaugh reminded everyone he's one of the very best coaches in college football. It will, if you lose your first game Notre Dame and then you lose your last game to where knocked out of the Big Ten championship game, knocked out of playoff contention, and you've never beaten Michigan or Ohio State, it'd be a devastating
loss. Seniors on that team, they've designed this year, they designated it as revenge year. So they're wearing these T-shirts and they're doing it paid out, got revenge. Not in the Notre Dame Bank, Michigan State, and a couple other teams that they've struggled with.
One thing that could help Urban Meyer, though, would be to get the foliage out of his face. I feel like if he could see the field, he'll just be it'll be a better way for him to coach the game.
It's a graphics joke.
Back to the NFL
Better
now.
than a Seinfeld.